Hello my love, it's Rachel here, and today I want to talk to you who's going through a period of transition and maybe you don't know what to do, or maybe you're just going through a period and it's being hard to make a choice, to make decisions, to choose. So the idea for this video came from a mentoring session. I have a mentoring session called Crossing the Threshold. And last week I had a student and I shared what I'm about to share with you. I shared with her and she said, "Oh Rachel, it helped me so much. It brought so much light into my path. So I think you should make a video about it if you can." And here we go. I'm here for that. So I'm a person who went through several, of course, moments of transitions in my life, like everybody, like you, like everybody else. But I went through 3 periods of transition when I crossed thresholds, and they were very challenging for me. And another thing as well is that for me, it's always been kind of challenging to make choices, to make decisions, because there are several choices. So it was hard to choose, to make one choice, right? And I remember that back then when I was going through one of these moments of transition, and I was going to therapy, psychological therapy. And the therapist, she told me, "Oh, think about all the options you have, like if they were delicious cakes, amazing cakes. And then you're going to choose one to eat now. But you're not going to lose all the other ones, because you can place all of them inside the fridge and come back for them later on." Boy, I was a teenager, but I was like, it doesn't make any sense. Because let's think about it. Okay, yeah, we can place all the cakes inside the fridge, but cakes, they don't have a long expiration date, right? It's short. And that's what happens with our choices. Some of them we will be able to come back and choose again, but many of them we won't. It's gone. It's over. And I think that understanding that is an important part of growing up, of becoming not only older but wiser. It's important to understand that, and we have to be okay with that. That's how life is. Because if we forget that, or if we ignore that reality, we are going to make our choices, then we want to come back to something else, and we are going to be resented because maybe the other cake's so spoiled. So yeah, we have to understand some things will be here for me to choose later, but some things will not be anymore. So we have to have that consciousness when we are going to make our choices. Talking to this student last week, I shared with her something that was really important for me, especially my last moment of transition that happened, my deep moment of transition that happened like 2 years ago. Actually just finished. Never finished, right? The heavy part of that finished last year. I was able to cross the threshold, but it was the third threshold that I crossed in my life that was really deep, really intense, really about an identity shift. And yes, we walk through very dark spaces when you go through that moment in our lives. And it's part of life. That when we are going through that moment of transition, sometimes we are going to see ourselves. Not sometimes, guys. At a specific stage, it's going to happen. If it's a deep process of transition, we're going to find ourselves in a place where I don't know what to do. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what is supposed to be my next step. And when we think about that, I think it's natural for us to think about the choice words. Then you look at her and we think about mental confusion, about questioning yourself, about not knowing what to choose. And here we see that she's sitting there, and maybe you can think that she's passive. And then we see that she's blindfolded, so she's not being able to see. And you see that she's crossing her arms in front of her heart with two swords, and sometimes we think about it like she's there blocking her heart, her soul, her inner compass. And yes, I think there's a moment. And that's exactly how it is. We will find ourselves in the same situation. And then what we usually are going to do is, I need answers. So we may go for a tarot reader, for a therapist, a coach, a mentor, a teacher, a course, a book, whatever. Just give me the answer and give it quickly. Because that's a little bit about our society, right? Everything must be fast. Time is money. Don't waste your time. So when we find ourselves here in this place, we feel like we are a failure. I should know what to do at this moment, or now I'm in an age that I should know. I should have everything figured out. Nobody does, right? But we feel bad at that moment. It doesn't matter. Maybe our conscious mind thinks, and she knows that, oh, it's okay, but that's not how we feel. Yes, so we are there, not being able to see, to understand, to find our way, and we want an answer. But there's a moment then in that process when we start noticing, we realize that listening to other people's or institutions, whatever, but external answers, following external rules, it's not going to give us the results that we are expecting. More often than not, it's going to keep us stuck here. And then when we notice that, that's the moment when we are still here in this position, but in a proactive way. So in that moment, we are not looking outside because we really don't want to. We said it's enough looking outside. I don't want to see anymore. And then we have our arms crossed in front of our hearts because we say enough of external interferences. Now I'm going to protect my heart. I'm going to protect my soul. I'm going to protect my inner wisdom. And when you reach this point here, it is when we can finally become her. When you close our eyes, our physical eyes, we are able to look inside, right? And then if you look carefully, you can see that, yeah, it could be the same woman. It probably is the same woman. Same hair color, same dress. And sometimes I think about these words, how they can become these pillars. So it is masculine and feminine, right and left, receive and share, light and shadow. It is everything. They are everything that we are. And you can see that she's sitting in the same place in front of an ocean, right? A body of water. But here we have this curtain that is saying, okay, I'm not a slave of emotions anymore. I know how to handle them. And the moon there was there, far away, maybe even a little haunting, it's here now, at her feet. And it's been covered. So maybe it means that it's even connected to her. I like to think about it like that. The arms that were crossing here, we don't need to protect ourselves physically anymore. Because now we have the cross protecting our heart, our soul, our inner compass. It's wisdom. It is about, I like to think more about harmony than balance. It is, well, all the elements. It's wisdom. It's inner wisdom. That's what it is. So only when we are here And we did everything that we usually do, right? Looking for answers outside, looking for a path to follow. When we understand that that's not taking us anywhere, and then we stay here on purpose, that's when she can come. And that's when we can really embody her. More than integrate, embody her. And here, I would like them to draw from tarot a message. Maybe if you're going through a process like this, to bring a little bit of clarity. Some people have problems with the word clarity. And when you talk about clarity, we're not talking about clarity about everything. That's what usually younger people think, right? When they think about clarity, it's clarity about everything. Everything must be clear. No, my dear. It's clarity about where you are right now. It's like a light that you are. Well, we are going to turn this light on just here so that you can see the next step. We only have to see the next step. And maybe the next step is not moving at all. Staying where you are a little bit more. Something that is important to mention is that the High Priestess is one of the cards in tarot that represent the crown. So that inner wisdom, right? That mature wisdom. And here what I would like to ask the tarot for a message for us. If you feel like it resonates, make sure that it could be, make it yours if you desire, right? It is, when I am at this moment here, make me a little bit of light about this moment here, when I can't choose, when it's so hard because it is difficult, it's challenging, especially when we are so used to do things, to do what must be done and move on. One message for us at this moment. And here we have the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is going to speak about a moment of integration. So when you think about here, we are looking inside and we are going to search for parts of ourselves that are maybe fragmented. So that's why sometimes it's hard to hear, to listen, to understand the message. So the invitation here is to find these parts of ourselves that are looking for integration and invite them to work together, right? It's even something we can do with shadow work, accepting parts of ourselves that we maybe don't, because they seem to be too good to be true. Like, I'm not that good in X, or I'm so bad, this is so bad, I don't want this, I don't want to manifest this aspect of my personality. And here we are going to have this invitation to celebrate. It is an inner celebration. It is a moment actually of inner integration that we can have inside us so that we can see things clearly. So I would say that for those of us who are going through this moment now, this is the huge invitation now. Find these aspects of ourselves that we are not allowing to work together, invite them to work together, and celebrate together as well, so that we can start seeing things more clearly, listening to all these voices. And that would be the invitation so that we can see things with more clarity. And yeah, we'll keep one of the swords, but the other one can become harmony. I prefer the word harmony instead of balance, so that we can then make the choices that we are meant to make. Okay? So my dear one, I'm sending you tons of love in your direction, especially if you're going through a difficult moment, a moment of transition, a moment where you have to choose, or a moment where you don't know what to do in your life. I hope this conversation brought a little bit of clarity into your beautiful path. And never forget, I think that when we rush to leave that moment, when it seems to be a little dark and confusing, I think that when we rush to leave that moment, we are going to miss lots of wisdom that we only can access in that place. So I'd like to tell you, relax a little bit and allow life to unfold. Allow your wisdom to show up for you. There's a say, actually a teaching in Kabbalah, and it says, when you don't know what to do, do nothing. Wait until the situation become more clear. Show up. The opportunities are going to show up, and you are going to understand what to do. Believe your inner wisdom. Thank you so much for being here with me, my love. Sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.